This Roblox Studio tutorial has everything: scripting, weapon skill attack, damage, sound, animation, burn damage, fire, and auto equip. Sit back and enjoy. All the code you need is in this video. And everything you see here is all shown in one easy to watch video. And we are starting right now. Today we are doing a weapon attack that is triggered on keypress, and it does damage. I call this our slash beam. Okay, grab a part, then rename it slash beam. Next add point light, like this. Change the color to toothpaste or choose any color. Set brightness to 10, set range to 8. Now add spotlight like this. Click to select spotlight and add these settings. Set brightness to 10. Set face to bottom. Change color to toothpaste or white. Set range to 15. Click to select the slash beam part. We are going to change the size. Change size to 10, 0.1, 0.1. Okay, we are done creating the slash beam part. It needs to be moved to server storage. Click and drag it there like this. Next, click the plus sign next to replicated storage and add a remote event like this. Rename the remote event to slash beam with a capital S. Now we need to add a script to service. Do so like this. Okay, inside this script start writing all this code exactly as shown. Pay close attention to capital letters and the syntax and make sure you have it 100% correct. Okay, that script is done. If you're troubleshooting, just check line by line. Pay attention to the capital letters and syntax, it just needs to be exactly written like this. We need to add another script. Just click the arrow to expand starter player. Then add a new local script. Like this. Then just rename this script to attack script. Inside the attack script, start writing all this code exactly as shown. Pay close attention to capital letters and the syntax and make sure you have it correct. Once you have the attack script completed, you can run the game to test it. By pressing Q on your keyboard, the player should now fire out the slash beam, and it will damage other players and enemy mobs. You can test the damage by adding a dummy to your workspace. That's all for this tutorial. Now that we have this working, we can now add sound effects and animation to our player, so that it looks and sounds more real. We will do that in the next video. To recap, this video we added a new part and named it slash beam. We moved the slash beam part to server storage. We added a remote event to replicated storage and called it slash beam with a capital S. We added a new script to server service. And we added a new local script to start player scripts. The end result is an attack skill that does damage. The player can fire this by pressing a specified key. In our case we use the letter Q. In this video, we are adding a sound effect to our slash beam attack. And we are starting right now. First, add a module script to replicated storage. Like this. Call it audio player, with a capital A and capital P. Great work, now start to write the code exactly as shown, remembering to pay attention to syntax and capital letters. Okay, we just have to add a few lines of code to our existing attack script. Select it by double-clicking on it here. Make some room on line 7, then on line 8, start writing the following code. The number here is the ID for the audio. You can get this and choose your own sound by visiting the Roblox site like this. Click on Create, and then the Library tab. Next select Audio. And you can search for audio here like this. If you click the audio, it will open a link which will show you the ID of the audio, like this. You just need to know the number and you can use it. Okay, back to our script. We just need to add one more line to our script to play the sound. Add it in here like this. Okay, that's the script completed. This variable just needs to be called the same thing in both places. Now, let's click on play and see if it works. It worked. That's great. Let me quickly show you how to change the sound ID. Okay, we learned how to add an audio sound effect to our attack in Roblox Studio. In the next video I'll show you how to add an animation to the character and equip a weapon. In this video, we are writing a main script that will equip a weapon into each of the players in the game. In the script, we also add a couple of lines of code that will show you how to increase your player's walk speed and health. And we are starting right now. Start by opening up the toolbox, and we are going to look for a free item to use for this video. I am searching for the item Frostgore. Just click it or drag it onto the screen. When prompted, to add to starter pack, choose No. It's important to remember that these free items could contain malicious scripts. So for that reason, I am just going to remove the scripts within the item. The keypress weld script, I will keep though. It's okay and helps place the item in the correct position on the player. Okay, we have the item. But our player won't automatically equip that item yet. So we need to write a quick script to do that. Next to Server Script Service. Click the plus sign, and add a new script. And rename this script to Main Script. Okay. Now start typing all this code exactly like this. Remembering to pay attention to capital letters and syntax. You will notice that this code creates a table for players, allowing us to loop through them and give each player a weapon. This is also the main script for any game you create. Because, now you can adjust specific things on each player. Such as here we have changed the player's walk speed and health. That's the script completed. Let's see if it works. No, it didn't work. The item is still laying on the ground. And not in our player's hand. Okay, I can see what we did wrong. We forgot to move the weapon to server storage. Let's move the weapon to server storage now. Just drag it like this. That should work now. And our player should load into the game. with the weapon in their hand. Yes, it worked. Also, our walk speed is a lot faster now. To bring this all together, the final step is to animate the player's attack action. The aim is to make it look like he is throwing the beam out of the weapon. We will do that in the next video. In this video, we are adding a sword animation to our slashbeam attack. To get started, open up Roblox Studio and click on this Plugins tab. Then click on Build Rig, and select Block Rig. Okay, that gives us a dummy to animate. Before we start though, I'm going to add a sword inside the dummy, so that we can see where the sword is during the animation. In the toolbox, search for sword, and click on Classic Sword. When prompted to add this to the starter pack, just choose No. Instead, we want to move this sword inside the dummy. To do that, just drag it there like this. Okay, we can now start with our animation. Click on Animation Editor like this. Now, it is asking you to select a rig to animate. Click on the dummy to select it. Then give your animation a name. In this animation, we are going to use the following parts: right upper arm, right lower arm, upper torso, lower torso and head. Click this plus sign here to add these to your animation timeline. Okay, we just need to select the part we wish to animate. Then under the Model tab, check the Rotate setting, and type in a number for the degrees to rotate it. Now move it like this. To animate another part, move forward in the timeline like this, and select the part. Animate the other parts by selecting each one and moving them a bit. In this animation, we are trying to move the sword and arm back, and then swing back through. Make sure you are selecting a different point in the timeline. Watch how I do it. Okay, great. That's our animation done. It's not the greatest, but it will do for this demo. Next, we need to save this and script it so our character uses it. Click the three dots here to save. To use the animation, we first need to export it. This will give us an animation ID, which we can use in our script. That number is our animation ID. We should save that somewhere to use later. If we play the game now, the animation doesn't work on our character yet, because we haven't added anything to our script yet. To get this to work, we have just a few lines of code to add to our script. Using the attack script we created previously, we can easily add the animation to the code there and it will work. Okay, that's the code for the animation added. Let's give it a run and see if it works. It kind of worked. It doesn't seem like our upper arm is moving at all though. Okay, let's see what we did wrong and fix it. When we look at our animation, we definitely had our arm higher in the air. First, we did forget one important step, and that's to set the priority to action. Next, The first frame of our animation started with the dummy's arm in the air, when actually it needed to be level. So let's change that now. Select the right upper arm and then rotate it back down like this. When making further changes to the animation, it needs to be saved again. From the 3-dot drop-down, choose Export and overwrite the existing file. Okay, now it should work. Let's give it a run and see how we did. There we go. That first time it loaded a bit slow, but now you can see it's working nicely. The player is swinging the axe at the same time when the beam is starting to fly out. Okay, let's quickly fix the loading problem. Just move this line up a bit. Yes, I think that's much better. Okay, that is the end of this tutorial. We were successfully able to add a new animation and make it play when our character pressed a key to attack. In this video, we have added a beam and trail effect to our attack. How awesome is this? Visually it looks much better than our original attack. You can see that the beam adds a bend in the attack so it looks more rounded. And the trail gives a nice effect when it shoots out, leaving the trail behind. The original attack was just a part that we were able to shoot out from the player. It's an important reminder that there is a process when you are developing something. And the first version is usually just to get it working. Then, when you have it working, you can improve the design by adding more effects and improvements to make it awesome. Like this. In addition to the beam and trail effects, I have also added a burn effect. So, when it hits the enemy, it applies fire to it and burns over time. You can see that the character's health bars are reducing, and these mobs are taking damage from the burn effect. Also, the mobs are on fire. Okay, so I guess you're wondering how I did this. Let's start right now. Okay, so the plan is to create a new slashbeam part and apply the effects to it. This is what it will look like. Since I have already done it, I will recreate it again so you can see. Then we just have a few lines of code to change in our script to add the new fire burn effects. I'm going to start by duplicating the old slashbeam part, so that we retain some of the existing values, such as the lighting which we need. Move it to the workspace so we can work on it. And I just called this part slashbeam 2. Okay, add 2 attachments like this, choose the plus sign next to the part and search for attachment. Select the attachment by clicking on it, and then move it to the edge of the part. Add the second attachment, and move it to the other end of the part. Okay, now add a beam to this part like this. Make sure the beam is selected, and click these 3 dots next to color. Follow along with me here, to make a color sequence. Change light emission to 1. Change transparency to 0. Add the attachments to the beam like this, just click in the box for attachment 0, then click the attachment we added. Do for both attachments. Change the curve size 0 to -2. Change the curve size 1 to -6. Change segments to 100. Change width 0 to 0.5. Change width 1 to 0.5. We can hide the part now. So click on the part and change transparency to 1. That's looking pretty good. We just need to add the curve to the beam. And then do the trail. The attachment on this end is facing the wrong way. To fix it, select the attachment and use the rotate tool to rotate it. I have 25 degrees selected. If you have problems, play with the rotating. And also change the values for curve size 0 and curve size 1. It's looking great. The part is showing here. While I was troubleshooting, so I just need to hide it again. Now that's done. We can quickly add the trail to this beam. That's right, we are adding the trail to the beam. And not the part. Okay, with the trail selected, click the 3 dots next to color. So that we can add a new color sequence to this. Change light emission to 1. Change transparency to 0. Change lifetime to 0.3. Okay, for the trail, we also need to set the attachments. Click the box and select the same attachments like this. Congratulations! That's both the beam and trail effect done. Let's move the slashbeam 2 part to server storage. Now in our script, just update this first line to the new name of your slashbeam part. Okay, let's see if it works. Yes, it works. But it's backwards. That's okay, it should be easy to fix. Okay, so to fix it, we just need to change the curve size 0 and curve size 1 settings on the beam. That looks like it worked. Let's give it a quick run to check. Yes, that's it. How awesome does this look? In this video, we are adding a Roblox burning overtime script to our existing script. In addition, our attack will also set on fire any humanoid part it touches. And we are starting right now. You can see here that the health bar of this dummy is going down. Let's jump into the script and have a look at it. Okay, this script is located inside server script service. And it's called script. As you can see, the script is already written. Today I am going to show you the lines of code that are new and explain the burn over time and add fire sections. Here, on line 1 is our slashbeam variable. The slashbeam 2 part needs to be in server storage. Line 2 is a variable for damage. And line 3 is a variable for burn damage, which is a new line. The replicated storage event line is unchanged. It still links to the remote event, which we added here under replicated storage. This line creates a new instance of fire and stores it in the variable fire, which we will use in our code below. This number for look vector determines the speed at which the player throws the beam attack. This is a new line. I changed it slightly so that it looks for find first child, which is a humanoid. This helped me to identify when a humanoid part is hit, so that other parts such as tools don't catch on fire. The check fire variable here is also a new line. This is used to check if the part already has a fire element attached to it. This if statement block has all changed, just rewrite it like this. First, it is checking if the humanoid hit is not the player. Here is our code for adding fire. The new fire instance we stored in the variable fire is being added to the humanoid part that is hit. After this small wait, the skill is destroyed. This is a new line. It destroys the beam attack when it hits the target, which is better than flying through the target and off into the distance. This while loop is checking if fire has being added. If not, it adds it. And it adds the burn damage every 3 seconds. The distance here is probably set too high. The beam is traveling a long way now. So, some adjustment is needed here if using this attack in a game. That's all for this script. Here's a quick glance at the other 2 scripts we are using. Remember, this slashbeam 2 is the new part we created, which has the trail and beam effect on it. So this is the only place you need to update this to get it to work. The other code we just went through basically added the burn and fire effects. You can see it's working. In a game, you might want to change that burn over time damage, so that it stops doing damage after X number of seconds. Well, that's all for this video. We successfully added burn over time damage to our attack. And for the visual effect, we added fire to the humanoid part, so you can see it's burning. This is the God of Coding at Epic Blockstuff signing off. See you in the next one.